You are now listening to the Life of Produk Podcast.
Yeah, what up, man? It's the boy Product. You're now locked into the Life of Produk Podcast. This is episode 96, and shouts out to me because I forgot right before we started recording which episode number it is. Yo, boom, boom, boom. Today's a special day because I have my first in-studio guest since we switched to the new location. So shouts out. I got Slayed by Tyne. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I know I got you in here on the Lord's Day.
Yes.
I feel bad.
It's
You
okay.
could have been chilling. You could have been watching Netflix, but you are here. Welcome to the show. Have you checked out the show before?
I've checked it out some.
I appreciate it. So I didn't
Love
say
it.
nothing crazy because you probably wouldn't be here. I kind of
No,
toned
it's
it down.
good.
I toned it in the earlier episodes. I was wilding.
Mm-hmm.
I had like the angry black man chip on my shoulder. But you know what I'm saying? The Lord spoke to me. He was like, "Calm down." Welcome to the show. We are in Charlotte, North Carolina. Are you originally from Charlotte?
I am not.
Okay. Now put your city on the map. What's up?
Okay, so I was actually born and raised in Bluefield, West Virginia. But
Okay.
Right now I'm living in Morganton, North Carolina.
Yes.
I work in Hickory.
Okay. So you're straight 828 right now.
Yes.
Now, okay. Now, growing up in you said Bluefield, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was it like? Because I've never heard of this place. I want the whole
Right.
rundown.
So it's not the way everybody imagines.
Yeah.
You know, some people think it's like people run around with no shoes on.
Because that's
up
the
in
first thing. That's the
mountains.
first thing I thought.
Yes, it says no. I've never seen it. I've never experienced it. But
Yeah.
where I'm from is I'm from the projects.
Okay.
So all I've seen was African American people. So,
Okay.
I wouldn't change it. I love
Yeah.
it. So
hmm
but there's nothing there. There's
Really?
nothing there.
Just the
there's-
projects and that's it.
I mean, you got your McDonald's, Burger King, and
Hey,
stuff like
word.
that, but there's nothing there.
And a liquor store. Got to have a liquor store.
That's it.
That's
in a
it.
coal mine.
In a coal
that's
mine,
it,
right?
Yes.
You know, honestly, if you got food in a liquor store, that's kind of only the few things you need. You don't really need that much. You know what I'm saying? Well, depending on what you're aiming for. Like, so now you're in the 828 area. You're on the western side of North Carolina. What brought you out this way?
Well, I just want to just venture out, and I always like more of the city. So
Yeah.
I've always lived in the country, but I just felt like
Yeah.
it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
So
You wanted bigger things.
I do.
You know
yeah.
what? And I tell people all the time, sometimes when you know something is for you or you know it's not for you, because we always get caught up in I know this for me, but we never really acknowledge what's not for us.
Yes.
And then we waste so many years trying to make it for us. And then next thing you know, you old on the couch.
That's right.
And none of us want to be that way.
Yep. And
What?
you
So
doing
what?
that shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Exactly. At what moment did you say to yourself, I gotta go?
I've always been ready to go, but I just had to make sure I took care of some stuff
Yes.
back home, and was
Mhm.
able to come this way. And
Yeah.
my brother actually lives here in Huntersville, so
Oh, okay.
he just kind of allowed me just to stay with him here until I can just build up my clientele.
That's
and all
dope.
that stuff.
Huntersville is a nice city.
Yeah, I like
A
it.
really nice city. I be in Huntersville. I'm not gonna tell people where because I don't like people seeing me.
Yeah,
Because the show is growing and people keep stopping me in the street now,
Mhm.
and it's weird.
Right.
I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for that.
I'm a celebrity here.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I be at the little Mexican spot, La Unica. That's all I'm gonna tell y'all. You know,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say nothing else. But Huntersville's dope. I was in Morganton. I'm not Morganton. I was in Mooresville
Right.
for a while, which is kind of not that far from each
Mhm.
other and everything like that. So the experience out there was pretty dope. So now you're in the 828 area, right? Was it Hickory is a special place. And I mean that respectfully.
Right.
Was it a culture shock though, going from because I imagine Bluefield was it more family oriented? Because it's kind of small. I know a lot of
It's
places
very small. I knew
Yeah.
everyone there.
to go
but-
from a place where you know everybody
Yes.
to you know what I mean to
Yeah.
venture out. It can kind of be hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I loved it though.
Yeah.
But it has been like a culture shock.
Yeah.
Being here, because I was just talking to my best friend and telling
Mhm.
her I remember walking in Starbucks here in Charlotte.
Yeah.
And I'm looking around. I'm like, gosh, it must have been like a church event going on with all these black people.
Did you see the spirit claps? You saw that?
Well, I started because I
Yeah, was
didn't
it-
hardly see nobody white.
Yeah.
Because I'm just used to seeing more Caucasian people.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I was like, girl, I forgot where I was at.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a little bit of culture shock, but I love it though.
It was a culture shock for me because when I came to North Carolina the first time I finished high school, and I went from being in a high school in the hood in Brooklyn where everybody was either black or Hispanic to 20 black kids in school, and it was different for me. I felt like I was in Dawson's Creek. I didn't know what to It was weird. So it
Yeah.
took me about a good like a year to really adjust because when I
Mhm.
went there, I was a sophomore. I didn't talk to nobody. I was quiet. I was fresh out the hood. I had braids. I was like, nah, you know what I'm saying? So I get it. I definitely get it. But the thing about North Carolina, it can be very welcoming too. I've noticed that. So like I like the fact that the Carolinas in general, because I got a lot
Yeah.
of family in South Carolina. And when I go down there, everybody is it's like you saw them yesterday
Yeah.
and whatnot. North Carolina is very welcoming. And I feel
It
like more places outside of North Carolina need to adapt that.
Yes.
Because when I went back home a few weeks ago, you know what I'm saying? You could just feel the energy, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I was like, nah, I think I'm getting out of here. I'm going back home.
Yeah.
So how long have you been in North Carolina?
It's been a while.
It must have been a minute. If you got to think about it, it's been a
Yeah,
minute.
I can't remember how old I was.
Yeah.
I may have been maybe 11 or 12.
Yeah. So yeah.
So it's been a minute.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Now, do you ever go back home often?
No. Let's see.
Yeah.
Last time I went, I think my son,
Yeah.
he'll be 14 next month,
Uh-huh.
and I think he wasn't even one yet.
Oh, wow.
The
So you
last
got to
time.
take him back home one day. You got to take him back to let him see where it all started at. Get him grounded. Take him back and show, look, man, this is where it come from. I think it's great when kids get to do that, because my pops used to do that. My pops, he was born in Brooklyn, but he moved to North Carolina when he was young and then went back. So we would come back a lot, and it was different, but it was welcoming. Like we would
Yeah.
go to Lenore. Yeah, Lenore. That's back in the day when they had the Ponderosa. I don't know if y'all know about that. That was that hole in the wall spot that was lit.
Never heard of
But
it.
yeah, exactly. You don't try, you're missing nothing.
Yeah.
But it was welcoming, and it was
Mhm.
for me. I think it was one of the things that kept us grounded because I got to see stuff. All I knew was the hood. So to see, like, for me coming down here and seeing Black people own stuff,
Yeah.
it was wonderful to see that. It kind of reiterated hope in life.
I love that.
Where a
that
lot
part.
of us
Yes.
didn't have that. You know what I'm saying? But then on the flip side too, I don't know how big Bluefield is it Bluefield?
Bluefield, yes.
Bluefield is. I've been in like certain cities and towns where it's so small. The people there, they don't have a lot of hope. But the thing is, I tell them they don't realize what they have.
Yeah.
Sometimes less is more.
Right.
And whatnot. And I wish a lot of people would see that, but they kind of don't. I think social media messes that up.
Yeah.
Because we get so caught up in, we be thinking like everybody's lit. Everybody's lying. They're
Yes,
not. They're
yeah.
not that lit. They're really not. They're doing
Yeah.
it for the gram and then they go to sleep after
That's
that.
it, right?
But y'all don't see that though. I don't know. You ever feel like pressure on you being like, and doing, because with doing hair and then seeing other people, like do you ever feel like you have to
competition or things
competition
like
and
that.
stuff like that? Yeah.
I guess not really.
Mhm.
Because I just do what I love.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
I'm not trying to compete with no one. You know,
Mhm.
I'm just wanting to better myself and
Yeah.
but I love uplifting other
Yeah.
Black women and
We need more of
supporting
that.
them and and
Mm-hmm.
just being there for them any kind of way. But
Yeah.
I don't try to compete with people. I just
That's
try to just
great.
do what I love and just
Yeah.
move it my business.
That's right, Maya. We need more uplifting energy amongst Black women and less
Mhm.
Zeus Network energy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Shouts out to Zeus Network. If you ever hollered at me, I'm sorry. I don't want to mess up nothing in the future. But I just you know what? I got an issue with a lot of that type of stuff. Like I got to the point I don't do reality shows no more. I don't watch them.
Mhm.
I try to like listen to more audio stuff because I'm at that point in life. But do you ever feel like angry or ticked off do you feel like Black women are being misrepresented in media?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's I think it's sad. Like I want to cry sometimes when I watch Blueface and his girl fighting and she got a belly out and it's kind of like this ain't it, brother. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It's not funny.
It's
I
not.
don't think none of it's funny.
I don't think any of it's funny.
I just feel bad.
Yeah, I got a lot of family and friends and they'll send me these videos and I just be like, I don't want to respond to it, but it's
Right.
like,
Quit sending them to me. Like
yeah, I'm kind of at a point in life
Right.
I'm not into that no more.
Right. Yeah.
But I feel, and especially like a city like Hickory, like I hear like a lot of the stuff that's going on, and I feel like a lot of these younger kids, they don't have much of an outlet in that
Yeah.
area. Like there was a lot of shootings
Yes.
last summer. It was bad.
And my job
Yeah.
was like close to it.
Really?
So I would
Yeah.
drive by and be like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wasn't even in a bad area. It was just
Yeah.
on my way home.
That's
and I
crazy.
just be like,
Yeah,
yeah.
you don't want to be around none of that. You know what I mean? I
No.
went out of town. When I went back there, I went out of town. I think this was like 2 years ago.
Mhm.
So I went to Cali, and as soon as I get to my hotel room, I look on Facebook, and literally right around the corner from where I live at, somebody got shot. And I was just like, man, this is bad. And I never would have thought in my life, like, it would get to that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Especially there.
Like that's a city you can literally get in and out of in 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Y'all don't need to be shooting nobody. Like, come on.
Right.
But we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back. This is episode 96 of the Life of Product Podcast. Shouts out to Anchor. Shouts out to Spotify for podcasters. We will be right back with the second part of the show. Yeah, what up, man? It's the boy Product. We're now back with the Life of Product Podcast, episode 96. Shouts out to Anchor, which is Spotify for podcasters. Now, shouts out to the new YouTube subscribers. If you need workshops, sponsorships, or advertising, it is lifeofproduct@gmail.com. That is PRODUK, because some of y'all was misspelling it, /spelling it right, and I don't spell it right. I keep telling y'all every episode. Yeah, it's the boy Product. We're now back. I am in here with Slade by Tyne. She is a very big deal when it comes to the to the hair field. She's gonna give me a wash and set. I'm playing. I'm bald-headed, dog. Nah, we ain't doing all that. So listen, you are doing your thing when it comes to hairdressing. No problem. When it comes to hairdressing and things like that, I was very impressed by some of the work that I saw. You got to be booked like every day.
I am.
That's great.
Yes.
Being booked is a blessing.
It is.
Because there's some people that stressing to get there. They're not gonna get there. But how long did it take you to get to that point though?
So actually, when I started going to hair school,
Mhm.
I already had my clientele.
That's dope.
So I was actually done 3 months before school was over with.
Okay.
So I just sat there and just
Mhm.
helped out with the other girls that needed, you know,
Mhm.
people to come in to do their hair. I just actually asked my clients
Yeah.
that, let her do this relaxer on you and
Yeah.
stuff so she can get this grade off. So I've already had like clientele.
Mhm.
So I didn't, that was something like, so right when I came out of hair school, I was
Yeah. You was
already booked up and ready to go.
already going, right?
Yes.
I think it's a blessing in the Black community because there's certain sets of skills in the Black community we're taught from younger. Like we're taught either women are taught how to do hair and Black men are taught how to cut hair. And on both sides of my family, a lot of the men know how to cut hair. And I think it's people pay a lot of money to learn this, but it's kind of like a God-given talent. Was there any point that you wanted to give up doing it?
Sometimes dealing with the people.
I can just imagine. I'm not a people person, so it probably takes a large set of customer service skills to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like to please.
Yeah.
To please them, and I understand that because, they're
Yeah.
paying a lot of money for a service.
But you
and
ain't no miracle worker.
That's right. So I try to be upfront with them and like,
Yeah.
hey, this,
Yeah.
this ain't gonna happen.
You can't make, her look like, you know what I'm saying? It don't
Yeah,
work like that.
they think that's how it's going. So
Yeah.
I try to like be honest with
Yeah.
all my clients and let them know like,
Mhm.
you don't have her hair type or
Yeah.
your hairline's a little thin, so you may not have a hippie bang or
You might have a hairline like mine, right? So it's
Right,
like,
yeah.
listen, man. I think a lot of people, especially in 2023, they have this misconception of everything.
Yes.
They have a huge misconception of everything. So I could just imagine, like, you wanting to just jump out the window with the outrageous request. What's the craziest request you ever got from a client? If you can speak on it, because
I'm trying to think like I don't think I've gotten anything like too crazy.
Yeah.
I think the people that do come in like they know better.
Yeah. That
So,
would. Yeah. Okay.
I haven't gotten anything like where I'm
Mhm.
like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
What's the vibes like as far as like, because I don't know like how many hair salons there, because I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah.
But I could just imagine like what's the level of competition like in that area? There has to be a good amount.
It is.
Okay, I figured that.
Yes. Yeah.
I figured that because I know women take their self-care serious.
Ooh, yes.
So it's a booming industry
It
or
is.
whatnot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's a lot of competitive people because I
Yeah.
mean, if everybody doing the same thing, so you got to
Yeah.
figure out how to be different from
Yes.
everyone else. You
Mhm.
got to stand out because
Yeah.
if A's over here doing the same thing you're doing,
Mhm.
she may be charging a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
So you got to figure out like
Yeah.
how to, just be different and still charge what you want to charge
Yeah.
and get people to come to you.
I get that.
So,
You got to have the best dope on the block.
Yes.
I kind of look at the hair salon industry kind of like the drug game. No, I'm not a drug dealer, but it's kind of like either you're gonna Frank Lucas this or what
Yes.
we doing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Did you ever have anybody in that area trying to steal your clients?
In Hickory area, no, because there's
Okay.
really not a lot of
Okay.
black hairstylists. So
Yeah.
there's very few.
Yeah.
So like it's been pretty
Mm-hmm.
pretty chill for me. So
Yeah.
I haven't had anyone still, and
Well,
I don't
that's
really
good.
think, because I always tell my clients, like, if you can't get in with me, it's good to find like a second stylist that's
Yeah.
like me.
Yeah.
Because I know people with chair hop, if they can't get in with their main stylist,
Hmm.
and not everyone care about healthy hair.
Hair hopping is kind of dangerous though.
Very.
Because like I've heard stories of women that would go to this one, go to that one, and they
Yeah.
start developing what is it, breakage and things like
All
that.
kinds of stuff because everybody
Yeah,
does something different.
exactly.
So,
So that it's kind of like when you're a dude and you go to a different barber to get your beard done. You know what I'm saying? The dude that you never really go to, he's gonna do his hardest to make it look good because he wants you to
Right.
come back, but he might not be that good. He just put
Yep.
extra effort in that day or
And
whatever.
then you go back to your barber, and
Yeah.
they be like, "You've been cheating on me."
He know you
because
been,
they
he
can
know
tell.
it. Because he could tell. He like,
Right.
wait, I don't curve this side like this. Wait a
Right.
minute.
And you swear over here, like, what's going right?
Exactly. It's kind of weird. But I got to the point I just do it myself because
Yeah.
it's you know what I mean. What make me mad about barbershop in North Carolina? I love y'all, but I got issues with y'all. I got real issues with y'all. Y'all gonna hear me today. Us men should not have to make appointments to get our hair cut or our beard done. That is not what we do. I want to be able to walk in on a Thursday and be out in an hour, the most.
Yes.
But they're doing that now, and it's just like it's been killing my vibe, yo. It's just
Yeah.
messing me up. You ever thought about getting licensed and certified to cut men hair? You'd make a killing. You would make a killing. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You would make a killing. Because our hair grows so fast. We're back next week.
I know.
Yeah, we're back next week. Like mine. If I shave today, 2 days like that, it's right back.
And they charging so much now. Y'all
They
usually
are.
out like what in 30 minutes.
Yeah, 30 minutes. Well, I used to go. It was crazy because I used to go the spot I used to go to back home. I would pay $12 for my bed, right? So I took years off of doing it myself. I ain't got to do it no more. Come down here is way more. It's like, wait a minute. Thank God I'm bald now. You know, spots in
Yeah.
Charlotte charging for a whole haircut's like $40. Yeah, like I was like, y'all could have chose a different price from $40. We hear $40, we think about Baby Boy movie. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I feel like somebody did that on purpose or whatnot. But if you ever did consider doing men's beard, you would make a killing, especially in the Hickory area.
Yeah.
Especially in Hickory, because the barbershops are always crowded, and there's not that many over there.
There's not.
You know. I was going to Plush Cut. Shouts out to Dave. Shouts out to Key One. They're always crowded. And I went to Mooresville when I got back, and it was just every time I would ride past, just cars and cars and cars. So I started going to Herds or whatnot, and I don't know. I think they like closed down. Something happened. They like shut down. So I'm like, all right, this is a sign. Let me just break the clippers back out. Which I was being lazy. I didn't feel like doing it, but sometimes you can't be late. You got to rock out or whatever.
Right.
So when it comes to the hair game, right? Do you feel like you've hit your peak yet, or do you feel like you still have further to go?
I always feel like everyone can still grow.
Mhm. Yeah.
When you feel like you're done, like I done learned everything and
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yes.
That's just not the way to think. So like I always feel like I can learn from anyone. Like I don't
Yeah.
have like I'm not trying to be prideful. Like I know I'm the best. And
Yes.
I can ain't nobody can tell me anything.
Yeah.
So the lady that I work with is actually her suite.
Mhm.
She has helped me a lot and shown me a lot.
That's dope.
So and I just appreciate her.
That's dope.
And we just kind of like bouncing ideas off of each other. So,
Yeah.
But it's
Now, where's it located?
it's on here we go,
Now,
77.
Give us a landmark, because Hickory addresses is trash. All right, it's trash. 12th Avenue Drive, 12th
Yeah.
Avenue Drive Place. We need like a building.
Yeah. It's I'm trying to I'm still learning it.
Yeah.
So I just know to get off exit 3 Earl Ridge Boulevard.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's just a big building with a lot of suites in it.
Yeah.
I don't even think there's really like a name to it.
And see, the thing is, Charlotte has grown a lot, like a lot. Like I don't know if you remember this, but years ago, University area didn't even look like how it looks now. It was like dust and dirt, and they did a lot of construction.
Yeah.
And it's like they keep expanding now. So like only people that really, really know Charlotte from the back of the hand are the people from Charlotte. The rest of us, we use GPS.
All day, every
You know what I'm
day.
saying?
That's
Like
me.
that's it. You know, that's it. I know how to get to certain places without it. Other than that, nah. And I've worked in Charlotte, still using my GPS. So at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I love to see the growth in Charlotte. And Charlotte's kind of become like a mini Atlanta a little bit, but it's too many people are coming here. Too many. Like a lot of my friends back home, they're like, "How you loving it?" I'm like, "I hate it. Don't come here," because it's like y'all raising the price on everything, and the traffic is getting like kind of worse and
Yeah.
stuff like that, like 85 and but it's one of them things you gotta either hate it or love it. You know what I
Yes.
mean? It's, but I do feel like Charlotte hasn't hit its peak yet. I feel like something big is coming.
Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna expand more. Like but it's kind of like you look at it like where is it gonna expand? Because it's right on the outskirts of what Rock Hill, Fort Mills, and stuff like that. So a lot of those little areas that haven't been developed yet, they're still developing, but they're putting like apartments and things like that, which they need, but the prices ain't matching. The prices ain't hitting. We're gonna talk about
No.
that.
No, it's
Cheers, the
not.
boy product. Life of Product Podcast is second part of the show. Stay tuned. We'll be back with the third segment. What up, man? It's the boy Product. We're now back with the Life of Product Podcast. This is episode 96. I got a very big deal in here. I watched some of your work. I think it's great. I want to ask you a question. What do you think your strong points are when it comes to doing hair? Because I can tell you've been doing this for a long time. But what's your like specialty? Like, what's your thing?
Silk press.
Silk press.
Yes.
I don't know what that is, but I believe you.
For the hair, it looks where you change the texture to like more of a.
Is that when like the baby hairs be out and they look like kind of like toothbrushed and all that?
I don't really like to do too much of the baby hair stuff,
Yeah.
but where you see someone in their natural state and it's actually pressed to like a really pretty silky,
Yes.
texture. But
Yeah.
that's what I have more of a passion of. My second thing will be actually colors. So
now I did see some of the colors. The coloring is great.
yes.
The coloring is great. Now, isn't there like a thing when it comes to doing hair? Like some colors don't fit everybody, right?
Right.
Okay, so I do know a little something about
Yes.
that. That if a person wanted to do like a natural color, right, and it didn't, like I'm pretty sure you've seen this, but it didn't like fit their hair great. Have you had problems explaining that to them? Like it's not gonna work?
And well, usually like natural colors would be like your blacks, your browns, and stuff like that. So that we already have that. We already have like darker hair colors.
Yeah.
So if somebody want to come in and they're wanting like this lighter blonde, like I don't think that fits everyone. I don't think everyone needs to be having a lighter blonde.
Yes.
So and for me, like when someone come in for a consultation, like I'll say you want the black person's blonde or the white person's blonde because they're two different blondes. So
I'm glad you kept it real with them though. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Not everybody can do that.
Yeah, because and I don't really care for the white person's blonde on a black person. I just feel like you're lifted too much and it's just too much. So and they're like, oh no, I want the black person's blonde. And that's more like a honey blonde. But for a white person, they would think that it's like that's too orange for them or it's too yellow or whatever. But I try to like let them know because everybody's face and shape and all of that like that.
Now,
comes
have you ever let them know and they still wanted to do it? Like they were still persistent about it. No, I want it. Just do it.
And my recommendation, what I usually tell people is to go get a wig. Go to the supply, like go pop it on your head, and
just to see, like you give yourself
so
like how exactly. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I think that's not everybody's gonna do that for people. Some people just gonna take their money and be like, well, you asked for it.
Yeah,
you know what
I don't got time to be like, I don't want to hear like well, I don't like it or it's too bright or it's too dark. Like I don't want to hear that. So,
see, that's why I couldn't be a hair salon person because I'd have been like, look, you should have knew how it was gonna come out when you asked for it. You know what I mean? You get what you pay for it.
Right,
But I think that's dope that you actually care about people. And plus, that shows that you care about your craft. Because if you do it and it don't look right, nobody's gonna sit here and say, oh, it doesn't look right because of their hair right. They're gonna say, oh, it doesn't look right because she did it messed up. And kind of like small areas like the cities in North Carolina, like your reputation is a big thing.
Yes,
it goes a long way. You don't want to be like the hairstylist that got a bad rep,
right?
where everybody's like, nah, I ain't going to her because it's gonna carry on, and that could really hurt your business and whatnot. Because eventually you want to get to a point. And I'm pretty sure you want to get to a point where you got people under you and things like that. So right now you want to keep building like the foundation of positivity and great work because you don't want to you don't want to do that. You know what I mean? You don't want them like, oh, Slade messed me up.
And I think some people would, there may be some styles that would just give a client what they want because that's just what they want and it's like money. So I'm gonna give you what you want and send you out the door.
Yeah.
But I just don't want that one-time service from them. I want them to continue to keep coming.
You want them to keep coming back.
I want them to have healthy hair. I want us to work together, teamwork. You do what you need to do at home, things like that. So when you come back, your hair is growing. It's not like breaking off each time, and and that's where you get the bad rep. What hairstyles you going to? Like, what's she doing? Like, your hair tore up. Like,
man, I'm telling you. So let's rewind back to when you were you said you finished school pretty much early.
Yes.
At what age did you start doing hair? Like way before school and all of that.
Okay.
Like, was you on the porch braiding like most young black girls?
No, and honestly,
Okay.
I really wasn't into. I never knew I was into hair.
Really?
Yeah. I stayed home. So when I was married, I stayed home and I was bored.
Yeah.
And I didn't like staying home.
Yeah.
And
So you didn't start doing hair till later on in life.
Yeah, because
That's
I was
crazy.
like, I started watching all these YouTube videos, and so I got into YouTube, and I started making like, videos doing hair, and so I would go to the beauty supply and buy more stuff, and people would ask me who did my hair, and they was like, "Well, do you think you can come to my house and I'll do your hair?"
Dope.
So about the time I done like
That's
walked out
dope.
that person's door, like they're calling me like, "My mom wants her hair done."
Wow.
So it just kind of started like that.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of one of them things where like you found your God-given gift. And it took and I don't like asking women their age, but at what age did you find that out? You don't got to answer,
No, I'm fine with that. Like that's okay. Like I'm, I just thank God I'm still living. So it's
absolutely.
oh God, I may have maybe like 32. So I'm 40 now, so I'll be 41 next month.
I just hit the big 40, like I can't remember, a week or two ago. One of them, I don't know. Thank you. My main concern was like, does it hurt? Because I was scared. You know.
No, like I was scared, but I was.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm still nervous. Like
Really?
I'm still like I'm riding this out. Like you know what I mean. I'm kind of like I'm mentally on the trial period 40 because I'm not really fully there yet.
Yeah.
Like I was in Walmart buying Walmart wine, and the lady looked at me. She was like, "Oh, I'm pretty sure you're over 40." And I was about to say, "No, I'm 39." I was like, "Oh, I am 40." Like, yeah. I felt like she tried to play me. You know what I'm saying? I was about to say, like, let me talk to you. What are you doing? Word up, man. You better respect me. You know what I'm saying? Telling me I'm 40, but I am 40.
Nobody wants to hear that.
Yo, my heart dropped because I was like, reality hit me. I was like, oh, I am 40. Like, oh, snap. Like, yeah. But yeah, my main concern.
It's okay.
You know, so I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. But my main concern was like, does it hurt? Like, I don't know. And then I got a crook in my neck from sleeping bad 2 days ago. So it kind of does, you know what I'm saying? But we gonna get to the promised land.
Yes, yeah, I have my moments, limping, hip, everything.
Exactly. So you were 32 when you started doing hair.
Yeah.
32 years, and so you're 9 years in, going in right now. I think that's incredible. I think that's incredible. But did you ever see yourself going down this path? Like 15 years ago, would you have been like, okay, 15 years later, this is what I'm gonna be doing?
No.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. But that's what makes it more special though. And I think too, what I notice about people, right? When people later on in life, when they find out their thing, when they find out their niche, right? At whatever point in life, they could be in their late 20s, 30s, 40s. Whenever they find it, I feel like it's better for them to find out later on because they didn't have pressure early on in life to try to get there. Yes. Now, if they had that pressure early on in life, that might have like deterred them from like pursuing it because they might have been like, nah, this ain't for me because the pressure was heavy on them.
Yes.
Or not. But did you ever feel like pressure, like when you first started it, when you first started doing it, like, did you ever feel like overwhelmed? Like it wasn't for you?
No, I just felt like it just naturally happened.
Yes.
Like it was just a flow. Like,
That mean it was meant for you to do that. It was, I feel like that's like your calling. And I feel like there's something like, that might be a segue to something bigger. Yeah. It might be like, I don't know if you're a spiritual person.
I am.
That's what's up. Shouts out to the Lord. We all trying to go up the escalator, right? You know what I'm saying? But that might be like a segue for something bigger on later on in life. I don't know what it is. You might not even know later on. It might take like another, like a whatever amount of years to find that, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So what's the end goal? If you know what the end goal is, what do you think the end goal is? For 15 years from now, what do you think the end goal is? What do you want to have established with your career?
I would love to have my own product line.
Yes. It's achievable.
Yes, it is.
It's achievable.
It is. And just step away from the chair.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even be like a little bit of an educator.
Okay, yeah.
Just kind of like give back.
Yes.
Because I know like where I'm at. So I went to McDowell Tech Community College, and I was the only Black girl there.
Really?
Out of 42.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
They didn't have no idea about ethnic hair.
Really?
The teachers So actually, my second week, I was actually teaching them, and so they do reach out to me and want me to come back and stuff. So I do like speak on like ethnic hair because they don't have a clue.
That's incredible to me. Is it harder doing like I hate to say white hair. I try to like choose my words, but is it harder doing which one? Which one is more challenging? Because a lady told me one time it was harder to do like she had to do a white lady's hair. She said it was harder because the hair was more like thin or something like that. She said it was for it being so straight, it was harder to get where she needed to be with it.
And I just think everybody's different because I feel like I can do Caucasian hair. Like I have no problem. But since I've been licensed for 8 years, I've worked in Caucasian salons.
Yes.
So, and my thing is I kind of like, I do a lot more that, we don't really do is color. Like we do a little bit of it, but I really have been educated on color and
That's
learned
dope.
a lot through Caucasian because that's all they do all day long.
Yeah.
Color.
Yeah.
So, I think their hair is really easy.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe the lady I spoke to, she didn't know what she was doing. Maybe I don't know. Maybe she knows what she was doing. Shouts out to her, but she was just like, she was talking like it was algebra or something. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, well, good luck.
And it's probably because she haven't been around it too much, so she don't really know. But I played in and experienced it and know what to use and, extensions and different things with them. Like I know all of that. So, and, I've learned a lot.
Yeah, she ain't about that life. That's what she was trying to tell me. You know what I'm saying? So before we wrap the show up, how can people get in contact with you to book you?
So I am on Instagram, Slave by Tyne. So you can message me through there. I am on Facebook. It's Tyne Martin. Both of those are like my business pages.
Yeah.
So you can reach me on there if you're trying to book. You can book on either one of those profile pages. So you will have the Hickory location and the Charlotte location.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Which location do you like working at better?
Of course, Charlotte. I hope none of my Hickory people hear this, but
no disrespect, y'all, but Charlotte is a little bigger. It's the city. The scenery is better.
Yes.
Gia is the Boy Product, Life of Produk Podcast. Shouts out to Tyne to coming through to the show. She is the first in-house guest of the new location. Do you have any shout outs you want to give before we leave?
Of course, I like to shout out my girl, Portia Harris. That's the lady of the suite that she had me working there, and she's awesome. Love her.
That's dope.
Of course, my son, Aram, and everyone else.
Tell Portia I'm coming to get my baldy done.
Yes. We're going to buff you.
We're going to buff it up.
Shining.
Gia is the Boy Product, Life of Produk Podcast. We out, baby. Gia.
You are now listening to the Life of Produk Podcast.